UFC Fight Night, Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till, and another UFC Fight Night means another episode of All Factors Considered. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight into it. I'm going to break down my 3 sleeper fights of the night, and if not sleeper, just the most important, most exciting fights of the night, and I'll reveal all of my picks, have a little graphic at the end of the episode. So first one, Betch Correia versus Pannie Kianzad. This is women's 135 pounds. If you know anything about these fighters, you know they are going to strike it out. This is either going to be a clinch, dirty boxing fight, or in my opinion, I really believe this is just going to be a standard traditional boxing match, more or less, or a kickboxing match, really. It has potential to go onto the ground, and I know Kianzad is definitely in her world when they go onto the ground. So we'll see what happens. That is a really exciting fight. And when I was reading this, I wasn't too familiar. When I was reading the lineup, I wasn't really too familiar with who Kianzad was. A couple of fights later, and she has definitely won me over as a fan. So I think she can be a real contender in the women's 135-pound division here in the near future. Now, next fight that is going to be incredible, I believe, is 2 fighters who have streaky past, aren't really coming off the most impressive last 5 fights, but Alex Cowboy Oliveira, coming in at 21-8-1 versus Peter Sabota at 17-6-1. Now, this is a welterweight fight, man, and these are 2 really exciting fighters who throw a lot of spinning attacks. Once again, a lot of kickboxing, and both of these fighters are incredibly in their own league on the ground. So wherever it goes in this fight, it will be fireworks. Wherever it goes, on the ground, on the feet, it does not matter. Peter Sabota is a beast. Alex Oliveira, even though he lost 3 recently, I believe he dropped 3 recently, then he's coming off of his last win over Max Griffin, in which he brutalized that man, more or less. So I'm excited. I don't know what's going to happen, but once again, this is going to be a crazy fight. Now, the last fight of the night, and we're excluding, Till versus Whittaker. Of course, I'm going to cover that. But the third most important, impressive fight that I think is going to determine a lot here tonight is going to be Fabricio Werdum versus Alexander Gustafsson. And Gustafsson, most people know, as being the man who almost beat John Jones, right? So next to Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes, Gustafsson has come the closest to beating John Jones, who many consider to be the greatest of all time in the light heavyweight division. Now, Gustafsson retired. He's coming out of retirement to fight at heavyweight versus Fabricio Werdum, who is a 23-9-1, beat almost all of the legends. People consider Werdum to be more or less the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time, and he's facing a very dangerous fighter who a lot of people think are going to win tonight. Alexander Gustafsson, 18-6-0, amazing boxer, really amazing boxer. Now, Werdum, he'll knock you out or he'll take you to the ground. I expect this one to be over quickly. So, tune in, grab your popcorn, and pay attention, because I think it will be over quickly. So with that being said, let's just knock out this last fight real fast. Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till, the main event, right? I'm going to tell you, first, let's just give a little bit of context. Robert Whittaker lost his last fight, lost his championship title to Israel Adesanya. He got stopped in that fight. It was looking decently good for Whittaker in the first round, but he got stopped, and I think part of that is an accumulation of damage that occurred from the 2 fights he had before fighting Israel Adesanya, which were both against Yoel Romero. He won both of them. I really think he only won one of them, because the rematch, Whittaker versus Romero 2, Whittaker, he got knocked around, and he showed grit and heart and tenacity, but he got knocked around by Romero, and Romero probably should have won the fight. Now, Darren Till, on the other hand, he's come off of some ugly losses. He had a very big win in his last fight, but here's the thing about Darren Till. He, along with Whittaker, has a fight in his recent history. His was versus Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy, Stephen Thompson. He fought him, edged him out in a decision. A lot of people thought that Wonder Boy should have won. So both Till and Whittaker have an asterisk, more or less, in their last 5 fights. They have something up there. I think both of these fighters have something to prove. Whittaker, he loves throwing those kicks. Till loves throwing kicks. Till loves catching kicks and coming over the top with that big left hand, because you have to remember, he is a southpaw. And Also remember, he was more or less a light heavyweight who was fighting at welterweight for, you know, the majority of his short UFC career. He has now moved up to middleweight in his last fight, and he is sticking around at middleweight, and he is a force to be reckoned with. I think if he wins this, he gets the next shot at Israel Adesanya. I think even if he loses, he's not too far away from getting that title shot, but he said it in his own words. He doesn't deserve a title shot, and he wants to clean out the division first. Absolute fireworks right here, man. This is going to be the most exciting fight of 2020 so far, in my opinion, but we'll see. I don't want to jinx anything, so, you know, listen, here, picks up. Let me know how you fare tonight. If you feel like sharing that information, go on Tapology, go on Verdict. These are two platforms I really recommend in terms of just like getting your details down, getting your picks in, and being able to track it and go forward from there. So great fights tonight. Good luck, and let's see some fireworks. And that's it for another episode of All Factors Considered. Peace.